Now there are a number of ways to skin a cat when it comes to the electronics that go on in acoustics. I'll start here with the Greg Bennett solid body acoustic because it's entirely relying on the electronic component. Just about all acoustic guitars that come with electronics have a piezo pickup in them. This differs from the magnetic pickups, which we're going to talk about in a little while when we get back to electrics. But the piezo pickup is located right underneath the saddle, and it actually is connected to the string via the saddle and therefore picks up the vibrations directly. It's very mechanical in that sense. Now, some people argue that it doesn't truly represent the sound of an acoustic because it doesn't really include any of the acoustic properties of the guitar on which it's mounted. Well, that's pretty much true, actually, other than the fact that an acoustic guitar makes the string react differently for the reasons that we talked about before with a vibrating top. So while the acoustic guitar impacts the way the string reacts, the piezo pickup is really only picking up what the string is doing because of the direct contact. Then it goes through a preamp. So you'll see that acoustic guitars equipped with piezo pickups usually have a 9-volt battery or something in them to run the preamp. Maybe they run on phantom power or something like that too. But a 9-volt battery is pretty standard. It goes through the preamp, through the electronics, where you generally have some kind of EQ system and a volume. This guitar, for example, has a volume, a bass, a mid, and a treble. And then it comes out and you just plug it in either to an acoustic amp, or I just generally tend to put them through maybe a processor like my Digitech GNX4, or even just directly into a PA system. And again, with this, you have no feedback issues at all. Now, on the DC-16, since it's a big dreadnought body, we can take advantage of some of the acoustic properties as well. So like most acoustics, this guitar has a piezo pickup under the saddle. Same idea, it's got a battery and does all the things that we talked about with the solid body. But what Martin did on this system as well, thanks to the Fishman electronics, is there's actually a microphone mounted right here in the sound hole. And the microphone picks up all the acoustic properties that are going on inside the body of the guitar. So you have an option here of using the piezo sound or actually activating the microphone and picking up the acoustic properties. What's very cool too is the control panel that you have up here. In addition to volume and the regular EQ settings that you would expect to find, you've got a blend slider switch here, and this will allow you to blend that piezo with the mic sound. So you can have all mic, all piezo, or anything in between. And of course, Fishman has a nice electronic tuner here, so you don't have to worry about an outboard tuner, and a phase switch too. So that kicking that phase switch in can help combat any feedback problems that might happen for the reasons that I discussed earlier. So Martin took it to a whole new level here on the OMC 28. They've got the Ellipse Aura electronic system in here, and it's very cool. It's got the piezo system like we've been talking about and all the other guitars as well. But instead of a microphone, they have acoustic imaging technology, basically a digital reproduction of what a microphone would pick up inside the body of the guitar. So that means that it's not necessarily subjected to any of the elements that might happen with humidity or any other ambient noises that the microphone might pick up, or feedback or anything like that, because it's imaging. It's a digital reproduction of what the sound would be if it were mic'd. Very cool. Take a look inside the sound hole and you can see that the whole control panel is right here. So there's no invasion into the actual body of the guitar. The electronics in no way hamper the acoustic nature of the instrument. But by having all the electronics available here, you can easily manipulate them with your finger without getting too far away from the strings. So you can make some pretty quick changes in order to dial up some of that cool acoustic imaging and mix it with that piezo sound. So now you've got an idea of what's going on with acoustic guitars and what kind of electronics are available, and combine this with your basses and your electrics, and you've really got an arsenal of tone. Now there's some things to consider if you're not sure you're getting the exact tone out of your acoustic guitar that you'd like. A lot of times just switching string gauge might help. You know, if it's sounding a little dark, try a lighter string gauge, and vice versa if it's sounding a little light. You never want to go too heavy on a string gauge. I tend to stay with a medium or lighter because you don't want to risk pulling the top off or causing problems with any of the bracing. These are fragile instruments. But another thing to consider is the material that your saddle is made with. Generally, we're talking about bone or ivory or maybe a plastic. But there are some synthetic materials that are being used. Graphtec has come out with the Tusk, and this is a phenomenal replacement saddle. It improves the sustain, the tone. It improves a lot of things, and you know, the proof is in the pudding, and a lot of high-end manufacturers are now shipping their acoustic guitars with these as standard equipment.